You describe your leadership style.
Mediocre. I was, I mean, we did good, but I was more of the person who just, it was the grunt worker. Get it, here, give me the task and I'll get it done. So, for me, delegation was kind of hard to do, especially if it was a technical issue. I mean, delegation between my wife and I, fine, but having somebody else run with the ball,
It was harder.
Yeah.
And then what if anything has happened for you to adapt your leadership style?
I guess as you go along in life, you're adapting always. You know what? I mean, that's what life is. It's not the same thing. Life is constantly changing. And I think in leadership and things like that, you're always changing and adjusting. It's like in classrooms. You're always changing your lecture notes and stuff and always tweaking. And my wife says, hey, you already done this. Why are you? Because I didn't get across the first time. Then if I do it this way, maybe it'll change things a little. And if you looked at some of the famous people, like my two guys I like a lot are General Patton. And General Patton was, not the, he's a good guy, but his mission was, when I failed to prepare, I prepare to fail. That's his thinking. And Johnny Carson is exactly like him, was exactly like him. And so I'm trying to keep the course, be like Patton, but be kind of humorous like Johnny Carson. So that's,
Good.
for me, in the academic area now, is the switch over is, I was gotta get this thing done, bump, bump. Now you gotta kind of make it a little more humorous. Now when I dealt with the clients, it was great because it was one-on-one. And, but those two are two guys.
I adapt my leadership style all the time, to be honest with you. It really is based on the context I find myself in. I try to take the example of Paul in Corinthians, where he says he's all things to all people. And I find that different people react differently to different types of leadership. And so I am constantly saying, well, how can I best lead this person? And then I multiply, I just do that for each person in my leadership.
What, if anything, has to happen for you to adapt your leadership style? So, like, let's say you have to kind of change things around to fit, a new employee or a customer complaint, things like that.
Well,
I
have to change my leadership style on a case-by-case basis with the people inside the building, because some people respond better to being micromanaged, and a lot of people respond better to being left up to their own devices. So I have to change intermittently between employees.
I remember your bottle example.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes down to how people learn what they can absorb. So we talked about everybody has a 5-gallon bucket of knowledge. So some people have the bucket and some people are a water bottle. They can still hold the same amount of knowledge, just some can get it at a certain level. So bucket brains, you can literally throw as much water in there as much as possible and you can absorb everything because it's a bucket. Bottle brains, you have to drip feed information. They can still hold 5 gallons, but they're best left to small pieces of knowledge at a time. So I have to adapt that based on who my employees are and how they learn. We have employees here that they thrive when they're being micromanaged.